This is crazy.
Sometimes you have to take matters into your own hands.
My baby's gone.
And nobody's even looking for her.
Grief feels like fear, but it's not. It's love with no place to go. You need to step back. Something doesn't add up. So much going on beneath the surface. All I've got to do is find out what.
Hello.
Well, hello, Anna. How are you? Jeff in Las Vegas.
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me today to talk about Three Pines. What a fantastic series.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah.
So, I mean, I love a good murder mystery. You know, I haven't read the books, but now the show is really intriguing me because I'm sure that the books go in so much more detail. And it's what must be great source material.
It's incredible source material. Yeah. And although, you know, you'll find new things happening in the show that kind of veer slightly off the path of the books, there's so much more to find within those stories that also isn't in the TV show. So yeah, you'll be able to find things in both worlds that's new to the readers, that's new to viewers. So yeah.
Well, excellent. Well, tell us about your character, Clara Morrow. She's an artist, isn't she?
She is. She's an artist. She's a struggling artist who lives in the countryside with her husband, who's also an artist. And there's maybe a little bit of a rivalry there, more so from her husband's side. And as she starts to kind of become more successful, you see a bit of tension grow between them. But yeah, that all gets explored in the show.
And I understand that you also are an artist yourself, or you're an aspiring artist.
Yeah. I mean, I've always grown up around art. My mum's an artist and in many disciplines, and my sister's an artist and a jeweler. She actually made a lot of the things that I'm wearing. And just recently I started on a pottery journey. So today I'm launching my pottery business, which is really exciting.
That's really cool. And
Yeah.
Three Pines, you know, it's really about two very different worlds, isn't it?
Two very different worlds. Yeah. You have the world of the Sûreté de Québec, who are the national police force in Quebec. And that world kind of exists in Montreal. And you've got Inspector Gamache, played by Alfred Molina, who in Montreal, he starts to become invested in this Indigenous family whose daughter has gone missing. And the more he becomes involved in that missing persons case, the more his superiors become kind of unhappy with him. And unbeknownst to him, they're kind of punishing him by sending him off to Three Pines to investigate a murder case. So yeah, then we enter the world of Three Pines, which is inhabited by these kind of quirky villagers, and mysterious things keep happening there.
Now an American, so does that happen in Canada? Are there really quirky villages all around Canada?
I mean, yeah, there definitely are in Louise Penny's novels. I mean, I haven't explored all of the Eastern townships where it's set, but I'm sure there's some quirkiness out there. I mean, at least in Three Pines, there is.
And the show focuses on missing Indigenous women. I mean, that's right from the headlines, isn't it? Because that's been getting a lot more awareness lately, because it is definitely, definitely a problem.
It's a huge problem, and it's something that actually the storyline that's written in the show was actually written before the mass unmarked graves were discovered in Canada. So it was something that our writer Emilia Di Girolamo and the creators and producers of the show were very much aware of, even before it started to become that much more in the kind of Canadian public consciousness. So they were really invested in representing stories that were current for Canada and Canadian identities, and they really didn't shy away from that, which I'm so pleased about. And we also have a really strong Indigenous cast, and I think that's something that you don't always see in mainstream TV shows, is having a really, really big Indigenous cast, and they're incredible. And yeah, it brings me a lot of joy to see a show kind of focusing on those stories, and we've had a lot of great feedback about them. And yeah, so on the whole, it's positive. There are difficult storylines to witness, but you know, it's a traumatic history, and I think it's important that we do all witness it and go through that and try and be
it's a subject
human.
it's long overdue. I mean, the awareness is long overdue for that. So
Yeah.
Louise Penny novels, I mean, there's like 18 of them. Are they required reading for the series?
No, they're not required reading. Not at all. You can watch the series as a standalone, but I would recommend it. I read the first, I think, 5 novels so far, and I really enjoy them. They're incredibly comforting and detailed, and you have such a big mix of different characters, so there's always someone who you can really relate to, which is lovely when you're reading a series like that.
And the great Al Molina, I hear he has a really good sense of humor.
He does.
Yeah.
He has an incredible sense of humor, and really was keeping everyone's spirits high on set and making everyone laugh, and he really created an incredible atmosphere for everyone to be around and create within. And I think it's a real testament to his great personality that we were able to create the show that we created. Yeah, he's very special.
I'm really curious about fans of the book, if that he brings that character that they love so much to life, if they approve of it. I do, and I haven't read the books, but I think he just really brings this multi-dimensional character to this. He's going to be long up there with Agatha Christie, you know, and Sherlock Holmes. I think he's going to be
Poirot.
yeah, Poirot, absolutely.
Yeah, I think so. And he's a really unique character, Inspector Gamache. And you know, Alfred talks about this, that he thinks his superpower is empathy, and you don't often see that in a lead detective figure. Usually they're kind of tortured and dark and angry and pent up, and Gamache is someone who really tries to support all the people around him, and he leads with empathy and kindness, and tries to find the kindness in others before he tries to find their weakness or their wrongdoings, perhaps. So he's a unique inspector, and I think that one that maybe us as the public needed. You know, we need that kind of kind human and proof that there's some goodness out there.
Well, congratulations on Three Pines. I love it, and you are just so perfect today. And thank you so much, and you have a great holiday. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you so much. My pleasure. Thank you.